Which musical album means the most to you? I'll show you my answer.
Love sick like an arcane sensitivity, developing the new theory, relativity, connecting the soul's rest in the captivity, positive life, sacrifice what it is to be our history.
What you are listening to is a recent rendition of one of the Lovesick songs from the Lovesick Hexology, the most important music album to me. It was performed by Shingo2, aka Shingo Anan, and produced by Nujabes, or Jun Yamada. Nujabes created a plethora of soundscapes and beats. His earliest EP on Spotify came out in 2003, which was also made alongside Shingo2. He continued making music until his unfortunate passing in February of 2010 after a fatal traffic collision. Not only did this happen amidst the development of his third studio album Spiritual State, but also saw the end of his 10-year collaboration with Shingo2 and the making of their most beloved album, The Lovesick Hexology. Both of these albums were finished with the help of Shing and help from the record label Hideout Production. This in mind, I wanted to talk about my favourite Lovesick song, Lovesick Part 1. Now, parts 1 through 3 were created before the death of Nujabes, while 4 and 5 were post-death, and the 6th was made from a beat found on his phone post-death. And lastly, there were 2 versions of part 3, one recorded pre-death and the other post-death. So, onto the actual album, here's the creation date of each song. You may notice some huge gaps showing the importance and dedication to each second of runtime. The album was actually released in 2015, which is 2 years after the final song was created. Kinda. Now, it might seem obvious what I'm about to say, but this whole album is about being lovesick. It describes and delves into the topic of how love can flip our perception of the world and people upside down, and how it can sicken the mind. The name of the songs purposely misspell both the word love and sick, which could allude to a false love, or the brackets could mean someone that's in love but doesn't realize how sick it makes them. Either way, there's lots to say about the title of the tracks alone. A lot of my song analysis will come from the Genius narrative, which I'll link in the description, so go have a look at that if you like.
Yeah, it's recording. On the left, go left. Move left. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
I told you that story to tell you this one.
Immediately when the song starts, you'll notice one thing: the large amount of sampling that goes into these melodies. Firstly, sampling a Bill Cosby sketch. It was before his conviction, in 2005, I think. I won't go over all of them, but here's the sample list for the first song. I told you that story, so I'll tell you this one alludes to the fact that there are multiple parts to this song. It's just a bit of foreshadowing.
Love sick like a dog with canine sensitivity, developing this new theory of relativity, connecting a soul's rest in the captivity, positive life, sacrifice what it is to be our history.
The first verse begins with describing how sensitive love can be, relating it to Einstein's theory of relativity, which is about how all motion is relative and kind of explains the space-time, particles breaking down. Shing continues this space theme with,
"Now it might seem distant, but the time is near, when the thoughts take off, split the atmosphere, pure sound waves travel semi-infinitely, plus I see you there up most definitely."
This relates love and emotional connection to the somewhat infiniteness of sound waves themselves, which do continue until they reach space and then, I don't know, go ask a scientist. And then the chorus.
"Cause a beat plus a melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently."
I mean that from my heart, cause you make me feel good as a person.
"Cause a beat plus a melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently."
I am the best, I rip it up with finesse.
The repeated E sounds creates a repetitive and catchy rhythm that makes the song flow really nicely with the beat. Plus, the Bill Cosby sample fits the message that Shing is delivering because it's about someone making you feel good and having a great connection that travels semi-infinitely.
Good gracious, every process has a genesis, it ends with the revelation. God bless this opportunity for me to find a voice for some words that have waited for way too long.
Verse 2 starts with a Bible reference. This continues into the second line where he blesses God for allowing him to do what he wants.
No wages, small tips on the avenue, never wasted, all hits for a revenue. Haven't you heard the news lately? Seems we've been living for some times in a purgatory.
Shing talks about his journey to the bliss that he finds himself in now, growing up poor and performing for tips. He then goes on to talk more about the Bible, relating life to purgatory. This line in particular is interesting because purgatory is a place that lacks true joy and feelings, a place for sinners, and it's said that all sins originate from love, hence lovesick. Shing says,
But yo, I thought I knew what a love song sound like, but I felt a warmer June in the sunlight.
This is a great bit because the whole verse has been about the world and his place within it, and learning that it's not all that great. And if you can't love the world, it's hard to write a love song. Anyway, the rest of the verse is pretty fire, using metaphors about keeping control of your life and choosing to love the things around you. It then goes back to the catchy chorus and another sample, of course.
Show how I can write a book on how you make me feel, but how about the song that I wrote for you? What I feel like, I wanna put my trust in these simple words for you to feel what I'm saying, what you feel like.
My favorite part of the song by far. This feels like a love song, talking about how someone makes you feel. Shing repeats feel 4 times in these 4 lines, even rhyming the word on top of itself, and it's hard to complain about. People would be mad if any other artist did this, but this song makes it work so fucking well. Putting trust in simple words is the foundation of love. Even a little something like I love you can mean so much more and convey strong feelings. And the other person trusting that, well, that's true love.
Reminisce about the little episodes that we shared together. Remember the time that you told me in the cold night to relax when all I knew was to hold tight.
Shing continues to rattle off stories about this person, looking back fondly on the past. Listen carefully to this next bit though, because it's very well written.
Remember the time that I spoke to a crowd in a full house, realized that you was my ace, I was the joker on the stage singing the blues. All eyes on me and had nothing to prove.
This relates to poker. The crowd in a full house is a double entendre. It can mean that he was performing a show to a sold-out venue, or that he was talking to his own poker hand. A full house is a very powerful hand. The ace he relates this person to could mean that they were the strongest part of his hand, meaning he would lose without them, which is amazing symbolism really. He then goes on to say, Jokers can be a Shakespearean view that they make everyone laugh, but the Joker is far from happy himself. All Eyes on Me being a reference to Tupac's 1996 album All Eyes on Me. He closes out the verse by talking about his life being like a play, a comedy, and that he's had enough with these metaphors. The chorus then repeats after the instrumental, and the song ends with the same Bill Cosby sample but extended. I do love how the sample actually relates to the latter part of the song as well. Bill Cosby being a comedian making everyone else laugh is much like being a joker. Though he makes the audience laugh, they don't know how he actually feels, which is what the song is actually about. Someone who's waited way too long to talk about their feelings.
Cause my beat plus your melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently. Yeah, cause your beat plus my melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently. Cause my beat plus your melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently.
I mean that from my heart, cause you make me feel good as a person.
Cause your beat plus my melody makes me speak of L-O-V-E eloquently, so evidently.
I mean that from my heart, cause you make me feel good as a person. You know, I mean, make me say, well, the shit wasn't that bad.